Suzy and Friends with Suzy Cato, Zealand's favourite kids podcast.
This is Suzy and Friends
with Suzy Cato.
Well, hello my friend. Kia ora e hoa. How are you on this awesome day? Are you ka pai, tino pai, or ka nui te pai? I'm Suzy Cato and I'm ka nui te pai.
Kia ora, I'm Trevor and I'm Tino Pai. Welcome to Suzy and Friends. Yep, it's the podcast for tamariki across Aotearoa and around the world. Do you know that we have friends joining us from England, Samoa, Australia, Canada, San Francisco in the US, France, and even Ghana, which is in Africa.
Wow, we have friends in very cool places and some in very hot ones too. Now, Amelie sent in the brain teaser for this week and it's a goodie. Before we listen to it, take a deep breath in through your nose and imagine the breath filling your body all the way down to your toes, okay? Let's do that. And as you exhale, breathe out through your mouth with a sigh. Let's do that again. Breathe in, down to the tips of your toes, and breathe out with a sigh. Okay, I think you're ready for the brain teaser now. How about you, Trevor?
Oh yes, I feel relaxed and I feel ready to think. Amelie's question is, there was a pink one-storey house. Everything in it and around the house was pink. Pink walls, pink roof, pink curtains, pink carpet, pink furniture, and even the dog was pink. Everything was pink. So, what colour were the stairs?
I want to say pink because everything was pink. But this is a brain teaser, isn't it? So the stairs must be a different colour.
Here it is again. There was a pink one-storey house. Everything in and around the house was pink. Pink walls, pink roof, pink curtains, pink carpet, pink furniture. Even the dog was pink. Everything was pink. So, what colour were the stairs?
Ah, Amelie, you're so tricky. It's a pink one-storey house, so it only has one level. The stairs aren't pink. They're not any colour because a one-storey house wouldn't have any stairs.
Correct. A one-storey house is only one level. So if it was a two-storey house, the stairs would have been pink because everything was pink.
Awesome brain teaser, Amelie. Ka pai tō mahi. Nice work. Hey, we've got more cool stuff coming up from kids just like you. There's a book review, some jokes, an email from Millie and Alfie, and some stories about the school holidays.
But first, let's put your taringa, your ears, to the test with What's That Sound? He aha teratangi. This is the sound for this week. Oh, what's that sound? He aha teratangi.
Let's listen again. Whakarongo.
What's that sound? We'll play it for you again a bit later and give you a clue if you need it as well. Then we'll give you the answer at the end of the podcast. If you guess correctly, you win the chance to, well, pat yourself on the back because it is What's That Sound? It is the competition with no prize.
It's time now for this week's Kid Comedians. Dylan, Hannah and Karen are going to see if they can make you giggle. Are you ready?
Hi, what's your name?
Dylan.
You got a joke for me?
Yes. What was better than the invention of the first telephone?
I don't know. What was better than the invention of the first telephone?
The second telephone. Why can't a leopard hide?
I don't know. Why can't a leopard hide?
Because he's always spotted.
a strange dream last night. I dreamt that I was eating a 10-foot marshmallow. When I woke up, my pillow was gone.
You're listening to Suzy and Friends with Suzy Cato.
It's an oldie but a goodie, that joke, Karen. Imagine eating your pillow. Ugh. It definitely wouldn't taste as good as a marshmallow.
Those were great jokes, weren't they? And Dylan's joke about the telephone got me thinking.
Oh, of course it did. So let me guess, today's fun facts are about telephones?
You betcha.
Fun facts. Fun facts.
Fun facts.
Fun fact 1. Dylan mentioned the first telephone being invented, but he didn't say when. Alexander Bell invented the telephone in 1876, and you definitely needed 2 phones to use it. In fact, you could only talk to people on the phone your phone was wired to. A long wire ran from one phone to the other. And it was only some years later that the telephone exchanges were created so you could connect to other telephones. Fun fact 2. The first mobile phone was used in 1973, over 50 years ago. But guess what? It wasn't small and slim enough to fit in your pocket like Mum and Dad can do with their mobile phones. The first mobile phones weighed over 2 kilos and were about the size of a brick. It was like holding up your dad's shoe to your head if that shoe was made out of concrete. Whoa! Fun fact 3. When Alexander Graham Bell invented the telephone, he was just 29. And apparently, before he created the telephone, he worked with deaf people, teaching them how to lip read and to use written symbols to understand what people were saying. Wow! His job was to help people all around the world to communicate. How cool is that? And that's Fun Facts for today.
That is cool. And you know what? I've not thought about this before, but that's something we do here on Suzy and Friends. We give kids a chance to share their thoughts and their stories and their talents with other kids and families around Aotearoa and the world. Our job is to help people communicate, just like the telephone.
Wow. So if you want to communicate with your friends or with people in other parts of New Zealand or the world, you can send us an email, suzy@suzy.co.nz, especially if you have a joke or a story or you want to share your thoughts on a book or movie you've seen recently.
Sterling is going to do that right now.
Hi, my name is Sterling and I'll be reviewing Moonlight Mission by Laura Shellcrass, and also the illustrations are also by Laura Shellcrass. I like the book because it's very heartfelt and it has a clear message and it's just lovely. It states that sharing is the go-to. Without sharing, where would we all be? Like, sharing is pretty much what we need to live. The illustrations are very beautiful. The 2 main characters are He and Kunekune, and my favourite character is Kunekune because he's just chill and he does not fret. Like, he's just like, doesn't take anything too seriously, and he just loves the world how it is. Kunekune also reminds me of my dad because he's kind of just chill and he's like, all right, mate, don't fret it. I love when Ruru puts out a call into the wind and says, what can you spare? And then all of the animals come out and share and give what they can, and it's so lovely. It gives out happiness, it makes you learn what kindness is. Kids would love this book because it's a strong message, and if they get the message, they could use it in their everyday life, and the world would be amazing if kindness was everything. That was my review of Moonlight Mission by Laura Shellcrass. I hope you enjoyed my review, And I hope that you guys will all spread the kindness and love like here and Kunekune.
This is Suzy and Friends.
With Suzy Cato.
Ka pai tō mahi. Nice work, Sterling. Thanks for talking about Laura Shallcrass's book, Moonlight Mission. And if you want to see Suzy read that story so you can also see the illustrations, visit our YouTube channel, Tree Hut TV, and have a look at the Suzy's Book Corner playlist. There are hundreds of stories in the playlist already, and they are so good.
They sure are, and nearly all of them are by Kiwi authors and illustrators. Okay, how about we have another listen to the sound in What's That Sound? Whakarongo, here it comes.
He aha tēratangi? What's that sound? Have you heard it before?
I know I've heard it before. On a chilly winter's morning or evening, with lots of kids running around.
Oh, good clue, Suzy. If you haven't heard it yet, maybe your folks have. Maybe ask them to give you some more clues when we listen to the sound one last time at the end of the show.
There's loads to listen to before then too. Cody will be here shortly with a new phrase for kultu kōrero. Kids just like you, Sofa, Shaheen, Leighton, Ashley and Emily tell us what they did during the holidays.
And Simon Taylor has the last episode in this series of Princess and Strengthus. In fact, here he is now with Princess and Strengthus and the Dragon of Sad.
This is the story of Princess and her protector Strengthus, who just happens to be a unicorn. The wizards of the Wildwood are enemies of her father, the king. One day, when Princess and Strengthus were out riding, the wizards' giants chased them away from the castle. They can't return, so have ridden into unexplored lands beyond the king's border. It was a grey day. The thick clouds were grey. Even the countryside looked grey. Princess and Strengthus came to a hill crest. My, Princess, I have seen many towns and cities in my time, but I have never seen a town like this. You are right, Strengthus. The houses are grey. The clothing the people are wearing are grey. There are no bright colours anywhere. They rode into the main square and were soon surrounded by people. One lady stepped forward. I am Barathina. I speak for our people. Welcome to the land of Sad. I am Princess, and this is my companion Strengthus. I don't wish to be rude, but why is your land called Sad? It was not always the way. Until a few years ago, it was called the land of sun and delight. We wore bright clothes. We had jewels that sparkled and shone. But then the dragon came. It came and stole and carried away anything that had colours. So now to survive, we plant and dress in the drabbest of colours. We even paint our sheep brown. This is not right. Where does the dragon live? You see the hill, with the smoke rising above it? In there is its lair. But please, don't make it angry. We have suffered enough already. We won't. Come, Princess, we have work to do. This is not right. Hold on tight. Before she could speak, Strengthus had turned round and they were galloping towards the dragon's cave. Later that day, they arrived at the entrance. Yes, I smell dragon. Strengthus, you know I trust you, but won't it just burn us up with its flame? And what are you going to say to it? Say? I am not going to say anything. You'll be the one speaking. Oh, you must trust me. It was dark and smoky as they entered the cave, a bit like wood smoke. They stopped at the sound of... Is it snoring and coughing? I think so. Time to wake it. Dragon, I am Strengthus, son of Taranos, of the ancient order of unicorns of Classius. Under the ancient laws of sun and earth and fire and water, I demand a meeting. What? Who are you and why do you dare wake me? Strengthus repeated what he'd said. The ancient order of unicorns. So be it. Wait a second. Let me come outside and see you more closely. Then the dragon came into the light. He was huge, green with a white front that sparkled from 100 jewels stuck into its tummy. The dragon absently scraped them off. That hurts. I'm Princess, and why do you sleep on jewels if it hurts? Why? You need to ask. I am a dragon. It's what dragons do. We scare people. We collect jewels, colourful things, and sleep on them. But why? You ask why? Tradition. It's tradition. Doesn't mean I have to like it. In fact, I... oh, excuse me, this cough. In fact, I dream of sleeping under the stars and breathing fresh air and, lying on warm moss. But I am a dragon, so here I stay and lie on jewels and breathe in smoke that is, I will be frank, is doing my cough no good at all. But you don't have to. Don't have to. Don't have to sleep on jewels. Child, of course I do. It's tradition. Tradition is started by one person doing something different. Another was following it. Well, true. So why don't you start a new tradition of giving the jewels and everything colourful back to the townspeople and living by them and perhaps even helping them? I'm sure they could make a giant woolen blanket for you to lie on. Do you think so? Really? You mean sleep outside and on warm and soft, gentle wool? Could it be coloured green? I hate bright colours. And soon the dragon had given back everything it had taken from them and more, and in return, the townspeople made the biggest and softest blankets, which they laid under some trees. Soon he was giving children rides, and on a cold night, many of them left their homes and slept against his warm, warm sides. Now, children, can you remember how many jewels were stuck in the dragon's tummy? Bye-bye, children. Bye-bye.
Kia ora, Simon. That was Simon Taylor, storyteller, with the final episode in this series of Princess and Strengthus. Simon's written lots of other stories too, so you can find out more about him and the stories he's written at simontaylorstoryteller, that's all one word, .com. And remember, it's Taylor with a Y, simontaylorstoryteller.com.
And next week we start something new. Ooh, I wonder what it could be. Trevor, have you got any clues?
We horse around a bit, and Laura has a brain teaser about a ball.
Ooh, exciting. I can't wait. What about you, Miller and Alfie? We had an email from Miller and her little brother Alfie last week saying they love tuning in for the podcast. They usually listen to the new one on a Monday evening just before having a bath, and then they listen to some of the older episodes later in the week. Miller practices the jokes on Alfie, and although he can't talk yet, apparently he laughs his head off at her joke telling. How cool, Miller! Isn't that the best thing when someone laughs at your jokes?
It sure is. Although sometimes with my jokes, people don't always laugh. Anyway, we will share Miller's joke in 2 ticks. But first, Cody's here with a new phrase for us in Cool Te Kōrero. Kia ora, Cody.
Kia ora. Last week we learned come and eat. Today I thought we could learn how to ask someone to come and play. It's haere mai ki te tākaro. How about you try it with me? Let's do it one bit at a time. The first bit is haere mai. Say that after me. Haere mai. Good. Now say the second bit. Ki te tākaro. And again. Ki te tākaro. Now we'll put them together. I'll say it first, then you repeat. Here we go. Haere mai ki te tākaro. One more time. Haere mai ki te tākaro. Good job. Ka pai tō mahi. And that's it for now. I'll have more Cool Te Kōrero on the next Suzy and Friends. Ka kite.
Kia ora, Cody. Hey, try saying that again after me. Haere mai ki te tākoro. That is such a good thing to learn to say. Haere mai ki te tākoro. Come and play.
Okay, Miller's joke now. What word is spelled wrong in the dictionary?
There's a word spelt wrong in the dictionary? Oh my goodness! Which one is it, Miller?
The word wrong.
Great joke, Miller. Ka pai tō mahi. Oh, Miller's joke will go with all the other jokes we share on Suzy and Friends in a podcast on the joke page on our website. There are over 500 jokes there already. Go check it out if you're prepared to laugh over 500 times.
Now that's the kind of challenge I like.
Trevor likes challenges. He likes taking out the Suzy and Friends microphone and asking the tough questions. Like today, he's out and about putting the tough questions to kids just like you. Tough questions like, what did you do in the holidays? Here's what they had to say.
Hi, it's Trevor here talking to kids about the holidays. Hi, what's your name?
Sofa.
Sofa, how old are you?
8.
What do you like to do in the holidays?
Sleep.
Why do you like to sleep?
Because I always have to wake up at 6:30.
What do you sound like when you're asleep? Shaheen, how old are you?
8.
What do you like to do in the holidays?
I like to go to my grandma and have a sleepover
Why do you like to visit your grandmother?
because she's kind to me and she lets me have sleepovers at her house.
G'day, what's your name?
Leighton.
What do you like to do in the holidays?
Visit my cousins.
What do you like to do with your cousins?
Just play all day.
What's your name?
Ashley.
What do you like to do in the holidays?
I like to go to my nana's house.
And what do you do there?
I have sleepovers and she gives me lots of treats.
Fantastic. Hello, what's your name?
Emily.
What do you like to do in the holidays?
I like to visit my family and friends from far away because you get to see them again and it's really nice to see your parents again.
Thank you very much, children.
Awesome, Sofa, Shaheen, Leighton, Ashley and Emily. Thanks for sharing what you got up to over the holidays. We'll have more kids just like you next week. If you want to be a part of the fun yourself, email suzy@suzy.co.nz. We'd love to hear from you.
That email address, again, suzy@suzy.co.nz. Or you can visit our website, suzy.co.nz, and send us a message from there. Now, are you ready to find out the answer to What's That Sound? Okay, let's play the sound one last time.
He aha te rātangi. What's that sound?
Okay, you can hear that sound on a chilly winter's Saturday morning or maybe after school. Sometimes you'll even hear it at school. And maybe if you're watching certain programs on TV.
It's a referee's whistle from a sports game. Did you guess a whistle? Raise your hand if you did. Then bend your arm at the elbow and give yourself a pat on the back. Ka pai tō mahi. And if you gave it a go and tried to work it out, good on you too. Every time you try to work out something new, you're showing resilience and perseverance and tenacity. And I love that.
Okay, that's about it for this week's Suzy and Friends. Thank you, Sofa, Shaheen, Leighton, Ashley and Emily for telling us about their holidays. Thank you, Sterling, for telling us about Laura Shallcrass's book, Moonlight Mission. And thank you also to Dylan, Hannah and Karen for being our kid comedians this week.
Thank you, Amelie, for the brain teaser, and Millie and Alfie for your email and joke. And kia ora, Simon Taylor Storyteller, for the final episode of Princess and Strengthus.
Thanks to our friends at New Zealand On Air and the wonderful folk at RNZ.
But the biggest thank you of all, with ice cream and sprinkles on the top, goes to you. Thank you for joining us.
We'll improve your brain power next week with a new brain teaser and the What's That Sound game. Also, there are new jokes and stories and fun things to do, so please do join us for the next episode of Suzy and Friends wherever you listen to podcasts. Ka kite.
We're very lucky to have friends like you. Ka kite e hoa. Goodbye, my friend.
This is Suzy and Friends
With Suzy Cato.